this is a mini sorting station. We're going to have, this will be double. So in every sorting station, we have 9 tubs. And the tubs get positioned like this side by side, and they all have a sign that'll go on the front with what gets sorted in it. And they should actually be turned, the signs will be turned toward the tables. So you'll have 2 long tables here and 9 tubs. And then at Rising Hope, this will all be sort of moved into, this setup here will be from the middle over. Then we'll have an alley that is for cart traffic, and we'll mirror it over here, 2 tables and the tubs. So our volunteers will be working in this section. When our person pushes the cart over, they're going to just simply unload the bags on the table. Then they'll take the cart back out to the weigh station. So I know that's a little bit confusing, but does that make sense to everybody that there would be 2 more tables here? The carts will get pushed through here. They'll get unloaded on either side, bags. The volunteers will be working between here. So the volunteers are going to unload the bags, unload the cans, and sort into the right totes. Once the totes get halfway to 3/4 full, we need to have, again, men or teams, people doubling up. Don't want anybody to get hurt doing this. What they're going to do, we're going to have an extra set of totes in the wing, not that wing, in the other wing. And so the sign, somebody will bring an empty tote. 2 volunteers will grab this tote, drop the sign on the new one, carry the filled tote to the food bank packing tables. Okay, at Rising Hope, where if you envision the center here where we have all the food, we're going to have 2 rows of tables down the center and totes on either side. Then back here, we're going to have 3 sets of tables. And then Lori brought signs to show on the front of the tables, we'll identify which food bank or organization is at which station. So the tote is going to be divided. Like the first one goes to the first one, the next one that's empty goes to the next one, the one after that that's empty goes to that one, then you start over. With the exception of 1 sorting tote. One of our totes, and I'm going to show you guys the new categories. One of our totes will be sorted. Yeah. So we'll have signs like this on the front of the tables, so you know who's getting what at which station. And the reason that's important is because at the Y and in the VOC we have youth hunger programs, the backpack programs that we're providing food for. And there is 1 category. So the categories you're sorting into are soups, chili, beans, canned pasta. Those will go in 1 tote. Then you have canned veggies and fruit in another tote. That's canned fruit. Then you have breakfast items and cereal. That would include oatmeal, anything else breakfast. Meat, fish, chicken, any kind of protein. You might get like Vienna hot dogs, stuff like that. It's going to go there. Individual servings and multi-pack. These are our backpack items. This one is really important because this is the only tote that doesn't go into that natural flow of every other table. This will go, every time this tote is full, it will go straight to the organization at that site that's collecting for the backpacks or for the youth pantry. Okay? And this includes boxes of individually packed oatmeals, where it might have 8 servings or 12 servings, whatever. It includes the 8-ounce cups of fruit or applesauce. We have sent a request out to our coordinators to do the 8-ounce cans of vegetables specifically for the backpack program. If you get those little cans, those go here. What am I missing for backpacks? The 3-ounce tuna, those go here. Individual peanut butter cups, yep, the little serve and go. Individual packets of peanut butter. What?
What we had last time were big boxes. People have gone to like the box stores and got big boxes of things for that. So they'll go in that tote as
Top
well.
ramen maybe.
Yeah.
Like chips.
Multi-packs of ramen.
Probably chips.
Individual mac and cheese. And soup.
Yeah, the individual. Keep in mind, when you're talking about this, it's the things that we could have a little one, 6, 7 years old. Yeah, like TJ's age, but TJ, you've been working out, so I don't know if you really count in that category. But little ones that might be coming home from school and with their 8-year-old sibling, and grandma's the one that is their guardian, and she can't get off the couch. And so these kids are having to figure out how to prepare food for themselves. So it's those little cups that you put water in, you stick them in the microwave, and all of a sudden you have macaroni and cheese, or the instant soups, or anything pop top that's not too heavy. We're trying to stay away from the 15-ounce cans of pastas and vegetables, although we still need those for the kids. But when you start putting the big can of tuna, the big can of pasta, 2 things of juice, a couple cereals or oatmeals, 2 cans of veggies, 2 things of fruit, and 2 snacks in it, all of a sudden you got an 11-pound bag that a little one's having to backpack, they're having to tote home. So we're trying to get that done, and so far it's been really successful. The last 3 deliveries from Verde Valley School of backpacks, we started averaging 9.5 to 11 pounds per backpack from the last collection event because we were having to use the larger cans and all that stuff. Since then, we've been able to collect more of the smaller items, and the weight is going down now between 7 and 8 pounds, which is exactly where we want it to be, although we're not cutting any food out. It's just the appropriate size for them. Do you guys have any questions over this? Over the individuals? Okay. And then we have a tote that's going to be staples, flour, oil, sugar, salt, those kinds of things. Beverages, you're probably going to get some of the aseptic packs, the 32 or 64 ounce of shelf-stable milk or almond milk or rice milk, things like that. They go in here. If you get the individual juices or the individual almond milks, rice milks, things like that, they go into the backpack one, the individual serving one. This would also include hot chocolate, like canisters. If you get individual packs of hot chocolate, into the kids one. But otherwise, like family size things. And that reminds me to go back to things like oatmeal, that kind of stuff. When you get the canisters, that goes into the breakfast cereal. When you get the individual packs, that goes into the kids' tote. We have one for desserts and one for crackers, chips, rice, and pasta. So this does not include like the canned pasta. This is your boxed pasta. No, I'm sorry. This is your, the boxed pasta goes in with the meal one, which is your chilies, your soups, that kind of stuff, so it's like a meal. This is your 1 pound, 3 pound bags of just plain pasta, bags of plain rice, that kind of thing. And if you guys are off and it goes in the wrong tote, it's not the end of the world. But these are just sort of what we're trying to work on.
You do have a sign for individually packaged, and I was wondering about that one. It's on this one.
Right, and that's the one, see, these are old ones.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's why I went through the new ones, but
Okay.
that's the same as the one I was talking about with all the backpack
Got it.
items. What you guys will find is we have somebody making permanent wood signs as opposed to our plumbing contraptions here.
They work.
They do work. But we'll have wood ones for a couple of the sites, so we'll give you the signs, we'll have some backup stuff, there'll be Velcro, so if something breaks down. Any questions so far about the weighing or sorting station? Okay, one of the things that's real important that I want to encourage all the sites to keep in mind is the flow, the consistent flow, because right now it's really manageable at each site, even though we're busy and you guys will see, I mean, you're moving, but we're really able to knock out the volume that we have at each site, at least last time, within the first hour and a half, 2 hours. We could really wrap this thing up in 2 hours as it is right now. But keep in mind, we're tripling, and even though we've added a new site this time, it's probably not going to have a huge impact on what happens at each site yet. But I would say by February or April, we are going to probably have a steady 2 to 2.5 hour collection. So what that means is we want to make sure that, barring enough volunteers and flow, that there's nothing interrupting the flow, we want to make sure that the totes, as soon as they're empty, they're going to the food bank tables, and the food bank volunteers are working their tables. So our leads need to make sure that they're staying in touch with those food bank tables, because the real purpose of their volunteers to be there is to pack the food, stack the food, and get it out to their vehicle. It's less about helping with our system. In the beginning, we may not have a choice, and they're really great about wanting to step up and help out. But I encourage all you guys to keep asking people, come volunteer, it's a lot of fun, and it really is fun. But that way they can stay dedicated to what they're doing. Lori, do you have anything you want to add in? Or Jim, or Leah?
Actually, just to be clear, that this setup, half of this will be outside. So like Pat was saying, this greeter's tent will be at the beginning of the parking lot, and the coordinators will pull in, stop at that tent, and then they're instructed to pull ahead. This whole system here will be outside too. Right outside the doors is where this will be. So when the person is taking this shopping cart that's already been weighed and wheeling it, they'll actually be bringing it inside at that point where all of the sorting tables will be. So all of these things, including the tabling that we always put out front, that will be out front also.
And that's for new volunteers.
That's for people interested in signing up to be donors or coordinators or
And
advertise on a bag.
Yeah. And I would encourage you guys that the weather, if it's windy, if it's cold, if it's raining, make the judgment call. You can put that table right inside if we need to. We want it to be somewhere where it's comfortable for people to, take their time and look at everything and sign up. And then Lori has a schematic for the tabling. She's done a beautiful job with it. Well, that'll all be available, right, for the collection events? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome. It'll come in a tote and it'll be all ready for you guys. And here at this property, so anybody that's training here, remember that when the carts come through the door, we want to make sure that those cart pushers know that they're going to come down the center of the room. And they're going to put on either table the bags. And then they're going to go out that way.
And then one more thing, and then when the items are put on the table, then the bags just get folded, and we'll have an empty bin at the end of each table, and you just put those in there, because these are reusable. These make it through about 6 collections.
And whoever's heading up the sorting station, make sure that you have a person dedicated to when that tote bin gets 3/4 filled with bags. Somebody should take that out to the greeter station, so the greeters can start recycling those totes and then put an empty one in there. Yeah, Leah.
You said at the greeter table,
we get a list of all the coordinators that are going to deliver. Can we have cell phone numbers on that list? We waited a long time for people not to show up last time.
Well, here, we might be able to do that. I can't promise that, because that's manual work for Lori and I. It just depends on how things flow, but I'm not opposed to it. The thing that I would be concerned about is that we have this window from 10 to 12:30 for the coordinator's convenience.
Okay.
So if we have one coordinator that decides they want to deliver at 12:15, it's really okay.
Okay. Well, that's fine. But we could have been done if we knew they weren't coming.
Good point.
That's my point. So I don't mind, staying open till 12:30. That wasn't it. It was just that we could have gone home at 11:30.
Let me ask you guys as coordinators, the coordinators that we have here, I know, Kelly, you guys come from Camp Verde. Would you feel pressured if there was a phone call made, or would you just, how do you guys feel about that if you're planning to deliver late and somebody called to check in?
I would just have to say we're in the middle of the route, we'll be there. I don't think.
You think everybody feel okay with that? Okay, we'll, who asked me that question?
Me.
Oh, yeah, we'll try and do that. I'll
But,
try and do that together.
I promise I won't harass somebody,
No, I know
it would just,
Then we should probably come up.
where the heck are you? I want to go home.
We should probably agree on acceptable time to start making phone calls too.
Oh, good
Before we
idea.
do that.
Good idea.
That's reasonable. I'm good with that.
Okay, cool. Any other questions, you guys?
How are
look
the
at all these.
pantries or
There-
sites, how are they getting their food out of here?
So the way it happened, I'll tell you, it happened differently at each site last time. In the village of Oak Creek, it was like this area here, this room was similar to the parking, well, you were there, parking lot, it was like a horseshoe, and they were in the back. And so what they did is, as they packed all of their boxes and crates, they put them behind their tables, and when there was a lull in coordinators coming through, they would pull through, load up their truck, and go with it. And at the Y, it all happened at the very end. My preference would be to have an exit strategy for them to be leaving throughout the day.
Are they gonna be leaving out this door here?
That's a ramp, that's a loading ramp back there.
Okay, so we'll do that here.
If we just block it off so people can't pull through,
Okay,
we
so
can
we'll
do
put
that.
cones out there. And then, do you guys have any cones?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And at the Y, we can do the back door for them. So the reason that I hope that we can have enough volunteers to make that process flow is that when we double the number of coordinators coming through, there won't be enough room at some of our locations to store that food. And plus, we found in the village that everything was tore down and everyone was gone. Parking lot was empty at 12:30 because they were able to move things out and everybody had come through by what, 11, about 11:45?
Yeah.
So, again, each site can do it the way that they prefer, but I'm going to be watching, and Lori and Ren, when we go do site visits, we're going to be watching for that constant flow to make sure everything is, all stations are flowing, food banks are packing, food's moving out throughout the whole time. You guys had questions too.
What was the earliest time you can be here?
For volunteering or for delivering, collecting? Well, you can be here in line as early as you want, but the first bags won't be pulled until 10. We won't start the process till 10.
So if I'm here with a truck full of bags at 9, it'll be okay.
You can be the
Yes,
first in line.
Yes, well, and yeah, you can be first in line, or you can park off to the side, you can come in and volunteer for a while.
Okay.
When everything slows down, you can go out, jump in your car, go through the line.
Okay.
Which is ideal because spread the word, you guys. We had our pilot collection, and because of media, and we only had 5 coordinators, we wanted everybody to come through at once. So we forgot to tell people that was just for the pilot collection. And at both sites last time, everybody came through at once, pretty much, the majority. So we want to encourage people to come 10, 30, 11, whatever works for them. So, yeah.
shopping carts to the site, those kinds of things, does that need to be covered now, or is that something?
We'll work with you on that. What we do at the Y is we have volunteers that go to the grocery store that donates them on Friday night. We deliver them, they sit, they're secured at the Y Friday night, so they're there first thing in the morning. We don't have to deal with it in the morning. And then after